All right, y'all, we need to have a serious talk, a serious conversation, okay? This is no jokes. Let's get right into the video. We need to have a serious talk. So, as the season begins to roll around, the season's about to come in, there's a lot of predictions coming around with every single NFL team. And obviously, the Lions aren't getting a lot of love. A lot of people say, 4-12. We watched something that said 0-11. We see many predictions saying 6-10, 5-11. Matt Patricia's not the right guy. We hear all the negativity. No one's picking up for the playoffs. Okay, I understand. We were watching videos throughout the summer by a guy named Max Kellerman, who's on ESPN. And he said that Matthew Stafford's overrated. So, if Max Kellerman says it because he's on ESPN, he must be telling the truth, okay? So if you guys want to believe in Max Kellerman, go for it. But with that being said, I think a lot of people are starting to forget who Matthew Stafford really is. Okay, let me remind you. Let me do a short reminder of our quarterback, Matthew Stafford, okay? Because I think a lot of people are starting to forget what Matthew Stafford is, how great he is, what he brings to the table, how lucky we are to have this quarterback. And, as the season rolls around, and I think it's a lot of the negativity, the negativity comments that are coming in. Not comments, I mean the negative people that want to say on ESPN that Stafford's overrated. The people that want to say the Lions are going to start off 0-11. It's those people that make the thoughts brew that, oh, maybe we are this bad. But we're not. I'm here to tell you we're not that bad. And look, I think Stafford is obviously going to take the blame. When we win, he's going to take, I don't know what you would call it. He's going to take the fame. When we lose, he's going to take the blame. I guess that's a good way to say it. I don't know if anybody said it before, but I said it here, and it sounds good. That's what Matthew Stafford's going to get. And sure, that's fair. You can say that. But let me just remind you of how lucky we are to have Matthew Stafford, okay? So let me just simply get this thing started, all right? The first thing that we need to look at is Stafford's really not the problem, okay? We're actually lucky to have Matthew Stafford, and I think it's easy to not realize how lucky we actually are. The Lions, from 1999 all the way to 2009, they had zero playoff appearances. Now, under Matthew Stafford, who's been here for just over a decade, he has 3. So, we went from 1999 all the way to 2011 before getting into the playoffs, okay? And keep in mind, that was Stafford's second season. And one of those seasons, he was out for most of them. So just keep that in mind, okay? Stafford really had one full season, and then he went 41 touchdowns, okay? Let me just keep that in mind, all right? So he did it pretty quickly. Now, the Lions from 1999, okay, all the way to 2011 didn't make a playoff appearance. Well, Matthew Stafford was drafted in 2009. And even though he's hurt, I'm not even going to use that as an excuse. I'm going to be like, all right, Stafford, your first 2 years, you couldn't get it done. I'm not even going to use that excuse. You should, but I'm not going to. So Matthew Stafford is coming in, right? He's supposed to be the guy that saves us, right? He's going to bring us out of just nothing because right once Barry Sanders left, this team just started to kind of fall apart. We couldn't make the playoffs again. So we bring Matthew Stafford in 2009, high hopes. He comes in, and by 2011, 2 years later, after dealing with an injury, not going to bring that up again, he takes us to the playoffs. And I guess that's not enough, right? It shouldn't be enough. We know we want more than just a playoff appearance. But let's take a look at what he really brought. So he brought us our first playoff appearance in over a decade. Stafford's only been here for over a decade. He brought our first playoff appearance in a decade, right? 2011. Let's look at how good this team was, because you might think, okay, the Lions, maybe they just completely transformed. Maybe they were just a good team. It wasn't really Stafford. Well, you're wrong if you say that, because back in 2011, it's easy to look at the stats and say, okay, Matthew Stafford had 41 touchdowns, and he also threw for 5,000 yards, which not a lot of quarterbacks do. It's becoming maybe more of a thing now because passing is a lot different now. But back then, this was something remarkable to have 41 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, and it still is remarkable. What did that mean for the Lions? It meant that he would carry the Detroit Lions to the playoffs that season. Now, you may be thinking, okay, well, he probably had a lot of help offensively. And if you just look at the total offensive stats, you would say, yeah, that probably makes sense. They were ranked 5th, counted 5th in total offense. But that wasn't because they could run the ball. No. We all know about the stat. Matthew Stafford's record when he has a 100-yard rusher, it's like 9-1. That's because he doesn't have any 100-yard rushers. In 2011, the Detroit Lions ranked 29th in rushing. 29th, okay? So that's terrible. I mean, that's 3 teams off of the worst in the NFL. Yet we made the playoffs. And like I said, the Lions were 5th in total offense. They were 4th in passing offense. Okay, so let me just say that. So let's not act like that he didn't carry this team to the playoffs in 2011, okay? Matthew Stafford's a young player who absolutely carried the Lions. You can say whatever you want, going 10-6, getting a wild card or whatever. He took the Lions to the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. That's great. Now, you want to say, okay, between that, maybe you should take him again. Fine. 2012, he still had a great season. We were just kind of trash. Now, let's go to 2014, the next playoff appearance, okay? Why did we make the playoffs in 2014? A lot of people want to remember that defense, and you absolutely should. The defense was great, and that is a huge factor on the Detroit Lions making the playoffs that season. Now, if you can remember, 2014 was the best year under Matthew Stafford, where he finished 11-5. And if you can think about the Lions' history, really since the championship era, once the Super Bowl started, 11-5 is one of our best records of all time, okay? That's Barry Sanders type of thing. anything. When Lions were going 12-4, like once every once in a while. We were 11-5 2014. This team was great. We should have beat the Cowboys. We were great in that year, okay? We were playing for the division title. If it wasn't for the Packers being great, we probably would have won the division most other years in 2014, okay? So, yes, the defense was great. We were second in defense. So, now let's give Stafford some help, right? Because he's never had a good defense up to this point. So, let's give him some help. Let's go 2014. We're going to give you the second-ranked defense in the NFL. That's enough to take us to 11-5. So I guess just from simply looking at that, then if you give Stafford help, he's probably going to win you some games. Okay, well, how good were the Lions offensively, though? That's very important. They could probably run the ball then. If they're that good, they probably could run the ball. Yeah, maybe you would think that, but that's not true either. The Lions ranked 12th, so top half, 12th. That's really good. I can take that. That's better than 20 other teams in the NFL. That's good, okay? They ranked 12th in passing offense. Now, what did they rank in rushing offense? Well, you think somewhere around 15. Try 28th. 28th, better than 4 teams in the NFL this time, okay? Okay, that's not really much of an improvement, right? 32, 31, yeah, 4 teams. That's not good. So we were still terrible at running the ball, but what was the difference in 2014? Oh, we had a good defense, and we haven't had that since, really. Okay, now this year, I'm hoping that's what it is, and I think that's going to be the case. Okay, let me keep that hype up. Now, 2016 then, so he's off year, 7-9, 2015, yikes. 2016, the Lions are back in the playoffs again. So 3 appearances already for Matthew Stafford. But from 1999 to 2011, we didn't have 1 playoff appearance, okay? Now, 3 playoff appearances for Matthew Stafford. Keep that in mind. The Detroit Lions ranked 15th in defense, which is solid. I mean, this is just a solid defense. This is average. You're giving him an average defense, and he's taking you to the playoffs. Now, everybody can remember this year for one reason, right? 8 comebacks. 8 of our 9 wins were comebacks, okay? We'll get into that in a second. Basically, the Lions ranked average at defense. Good. What do they rank at rushing? Because the rushing finally has to be good, right? I mean, they have to. If we're making the playoffs, they have to. Try 30th. How about 30th? The worst of the 3 years. We were 30th in rushing. I mean, I can't make this up. That's better than 2 teams in the league. That's better than 2, okay? What do we rank in passing? 11th. So, again, Stafford carried the team. 8 comeback wins. But yet, when you see if he just gets a sliver of help, or in 2011, really no help at all, the Detroit Lions can make the playoffs. He's never had that help. He needs to get that help. And in 2019, he's going to get that help. So let me just remind you what he's done, okay? Let's not act like we were in a good situation before he came in, okay? He inherited an 0-16 team. How many players can inherit an 0-16 team and 2 years later take them to the playoffs? Tell me, please. Because we haven't seen 0-16 until then. 0-16 was a new thing. 2008, the Lions started their own thing. They started their own trend. 0-16 was now a thing. Then the Browns decided to follow years later, I guess. They thought the trend was cool. We went 0-16, and 2 years later, Matthew Stafford's got us in the playoffs. Okay, let's not take that for granted. Let's understand. And I'm just going to throw this out there quickly. I don't even think I should bring this up, but let's do it anyways. I hear people, not you guys. You guys know your stuff. I hear people from the outside of Lions community say, Stafford isn't clutch. Oh my goodness. Is this the most wild thing I have ever heard in my life? And if you're going to say, well, he doesn't have a playoff win, he's not clutch. Is that really all clutchness, though, or is that the fact that his team just wasn't that good? I mean, can we be honest here for a second? Let's look at 2011. He played the Saints, who were one of the best teams in the league, who scored basically every single time they had the ball. So it wasn't about Stafford being clutch. They were just outstanding. It was a wild card game. It was on the road. Not expecting them to win that game. 2014, right? We should have won this game. If you don't agree with me, we should have won this game. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I guess you can disagree, but I'm pretty sure we should have won this game. I think a lot of you can agree. And then 2016, the Lions backed into the playoffs because Stafford got hurt at the end of the season. We were 9-4. Keep that. We were 9-4 at one point in 2016. If it wasn't for him getting hurt, we may have finished even better. So we back into the playoffs, and we get beat by the Seahawks. On the road, you're at Seattle. I mean, how many teams win at Seattle on the road? Not many. So Stafford isn't clutch, right? Now, this was posted in 2018. 2018, keep this in mind. So I'm taking away a whole year. 2018. Matthew Stafford had 26 fourth quarter comebacks out of 141 games started. Tell me that isn't ridiculous, okay? He was tied all time with Johnny Unitas with 18.4%. That's 18% of the time Matthew Stafford was going to lead a comeback in his career. 18% of the games you're going to have a comeback. That's pretty good. Now, you could say, well, he shouldn't have been down in the first place. Well, you know, I think he doesn't want to be down. I don't think any quarterback is trying to get down in the first place. The fact is, though, if you're simply looking at clutch, showing up in the big, at the late moments when you need him most, I think Stafford's definitely proven that he can do that, okay? So I just want to throw that out there quickly. This isn't even to school you guys. This is to school any new people that are coming in. They're like, Stafford's trash. Come on, man. He's clutch, all right? Let's not even try to make that argument. 18.4% of the time it was a comeback. And who came in second? Well, it was Matt Ryan with 15.5. So definitely a pretty big difference there at that time. So those are two things I think we need to understand. Now, the third thing is something that I'm not necessarily going to talk about much in this video, but it's why we should not take Matthew Stafford for granted. And if you guys have seen my old video called Stop Taking Matthew Stafford for Granted, literally that's what it's called, you'll know what I'm talking about. It may have been a while, it's kind of a while ago. I can show a clip real quick if you guys want me to, I definitely will. But basically, I talk about Matthew Stafford and how we hit on that draft pick. In 2009, we hit on an absolute gem, and how hard it is to find a quarterback. How when people say that this year we should just draft a quarterback, we should tank, we should just take a quarterback, we'll be fine, Stafford isn't the answer, we need to move on, we got to trade him. Yo, you don't understand how hard it is to find a quarterback, okay? It's not something that you just wake up and do. It's not something that because you have the first pick, you can automatically get a quarterback. It's not because you have a first-round pick. It doesn't matter, bro. Finding a quarterback is so hard. Now, I don't want to necessarily go through that whole video again because that's kind of just repeating the exact same thing. So I'll show you a little clip. Let's go draft another quarterback because it's not that easy. As you guys can see, every single team struggles with this. And this is why, like he said, the Browns were so happy. Because they finally think they found their quarterback. Because after years and years of bust, they finally may have found their player. But us, on the other hand, we found our player back in 2009, but we still want to say, let's just go draft another one. Go watch that video if you have not. I basically go over the whole reason. I'm sure a lot of you guys actually have seen that video because I go over all the picks. Now, I did leave out one player, Russell Wilson. I didn't actually mean to do that. I literally just forgot to say him in the video. And some people were like, you know, as long as you'll understand if you guys know, you know. Basically, I just forgot to put his name in there, honestly. But yeah, keep that in mind. Russell Wilson also could be in there. So I think there was like 2 players that we could have drafted over Stafford. So the odds were definitely not in our favor. So let me just throw that third point out there. So that's really what I just want to remind. I just want to give you guys a quick jogger when we go into the season. Don't take Stafford for granted. Let me remind you what he has done for this team and what he's about to do in 2019 because we should be excited. Matthew Stafford's getting a team around him, and we should be excited, okay? Look at Andrew Luck's situation. This dude retired. The Colts were excited. He just retired out of nowhere. How will we feel? What would we do if Matthew Stafford retired? Honestly, I know you guys know because you guys in the comments all the time saying, hey, if Stafford goes down, knock on wood, we're done. You guys know that it's the truth, right? We're done if he goes down. So let's, understand that, hey, be grateful for Stafford. Criticize him if he doesn't make the right play. Understandable. If he plays bad, criticize him. He's played bad in his career. I'm not going to deny that. He's had bad moments. But let's not act like let's not act ungrateful, I guess, for Matthew Stafford. We should be very grateful for having our quarterback, Matthew Stafford, a guy that doesn't consider retiring, a guy that's here to stay, Matthew Stafford, that's done a lot for us, that brought us 3 playoff appearances. Now we just want to see him bring in more. And I understand if you're upset and you're like, I want a playoff win. I'm 100% with you, and I think in 2019, that's coming very soon, okay? So anyways, I just want to get this out to you guys just to, remind myself and also you guys what Matthew Stafford really is, okay? So let's get excited for that 2019 season. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out.